Morning folks, this is going to be a mega fast video. I know I say that a lot, but it's usually dependent on the weather outside, and today it's stinking hot. You've got high humidity and it's probably going to chuck down, if not today then tomorrow and the day after, so I'm not going to be doing an awful lot. Anywho, weather aside, you are looking at what's called an instrument cluster. So called pretty obviously because it's a whole stack of instruments clustered together. And not much has really changed in the automotive world. They still have instrument panels, and then they've got 4 or 5 instruments or gauges all close together, all closely knit together and assembled directly above the steering column or the steering wheel. So that hasn't changed at all, same thing. This is, I think, a 1940 pattern instrument cluster. As you can see, it is a little bit worse for wear. It's tired, it's old, it's been exposed to the Australian outback for 80 odd years, so you can't really see an awful lot of the patterns, the elaborate patterns that they've got on the instruments themselves. Now, instrument cluster, okay, so the big instrument in the middle, of course, you can probably already tell, is the speedo or the speedometer. And you can see the I think it's called a tachometer. Anyway, that tells you how many miles or kilometers you've done. At the moment, all the numbering has just faded. So that's that little wee thing there. And then obviously you've got the needle. Top right hand side, I've already pulled one of the instruments out just to have a butcher's and to see what sort of condition it's in and whether it's possible to use it or not. I still don't know. But that top right hand one there, you can see the shadow of my little mitts. That is the oil pressure gauge, and then the one below it is the ammeter or battery charge, and then the two on this side would be, I think the top left hand one there is the fuel gauge, and then you've got the water temperature gauge as well. So this is the original one. This one actually came out of the truck, but the fella that I bought it from, old mate farmer, and his son decided that they wanted to keep it as, I don't know, maybe a source of spares or just a donor. And they hacked the living shit out of the firewall and the dash panel to get to it, or rather the top of the dash panel, not the dash panel itself, but the top bit of the cab. And they've also, if I just chuck this over there, that's the back end of the cluster panel, and then that's where the speedo cable goes, and then this is all the wiring to make it all happen. And these little wee things here, there's only one in situ, that one's gone. Old mate probably took off with it. These are for the lights, they're for the dash lights. But if you look here, you can see there's a cut there with an angle grinder. There's another fairly impressive one there in the housing, the speedo housing. So yeah, they were pretty ruthless in trying to get this thing out. But anyway, it's a 1940 cluster panel, Ford cluster panel, pretty bog standard. And I'm going to start pulling that apart today and see what I can save and what I can't save. So anyway, if I just wander across here, this great big gaping hole on the driver's side, you can see the steering wheel on the driver's side. This is where the cluster panel would have gone, and I can't see there's much point in showing you guys where the farmer and his son decided to hack through. If you look there, you can see, yeah, you can pretty much see, you can see here where he's just, where's my finger? Just there, you see where he's using an angle grinder to cut through the firewall. And why? Because he couldn't be asked to undo 4 bolts. That's all that holds the cluster panel in, just 4 bolts. You can see there's one there, there's another one there, and then they've got 2 up the top. That's all it took, but I guess the guy was in a hurry. So that's it, folks, for now, I'm afraid. I'm gonna go inside before I cook to death. I can feel my blood boiling as we speak. So there you go, 1940 cluster panel. And here's hoping that I can save as much of it, recondition it and use it. Okay folks, signing out, have a good weekend. Till the next one, bye.